Hi everyone, and welcome back to the relaunch of the Sim Racing News Roundup. Now, it's been a long time since I've done one of these, and those of you who remember them from about a year ago or so may well remember that these came out on a weekly basis. Now, life, work, time, etc. means I'm probably not going to be able to put these out on a weekly basis going forward. That may change, but we'll have to see. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to look to put these out every 2 weeks. Sorry, that's my phone notifications going off there. I will just shut that up while I carry on talking. Yeah, I'm going to try and put these out every couple of weeks, so every 2 weeks. I'm going to try and stick to a Friday for a release date for them, probably Friday afternoon, stroke early evening, depending on workloads and time and stuff. So yeah, welcome to the fortnightly Sim Racing News Roundup. And let's kick things off with the announcement of a new upcoming title. So this one seems hot on the heels of Le Mans Ultimate, which was recently released, and is another endurance racing title, this time from KT Racing. And it is titled Endurance Motorsport Series. Not the most engaging title, but it does have an interesting premise. And that is that you take on the role not just of driver, but also of a race engineer. Now, they haven't gone into detail about how exactly that balance will work, but it's an interesting premise. They've said there's going to be a good number of tracks in there. They've said it's going to support long duration races and multi-class, and they're talking about us having access to hypercars, LMP2s and GTs from, and I quote, the major car manufacturers. So we'll have to see exactly what comes of that. Doesn't have a release date yet, but they have said on Steam that its game modes and innovative approach we will find out more information of in the coming months. So that's a new title, always good. Right, moving on, and the venerable old RaceRoom, still a title I love, but it has been around a while now, but that's not stopped it getting support. So RaceRoom has been updated. It is described as a hotfix. So it's not the hugest thing. It is mainly around tweaks and improvements. So little things like setup changes, spawn points for time attack, launch control improvements, and putting new safety cars in for new esports events coming up. As with everything, I will link to the relevant sources down in the description section below, so you can go and have a look there. And follow the link for more detail. But please do finish watching the video first. That would be very nice. Otherwise, you won't know what all the news is. So yeah, that's RaceRoom and its update. Good news on the next piece of news for console players of Assetto Corsa Competizione, and that is that the GT2 pack has now been released for you. And I believe, if my memory is correct, it's been less of a wait than console players normally have to go through for this, which is good because it's a good pack with some great cars in it. I've linked to the PlayStation Store where it's retailing for $14.99, and yeah, it's the GT2 pack for Assetto Corsa Competizione. You get the Red Bull Ring and 6 GT2 cars. So yeah, go and have a look at it. If it tickles your fancy, go for it. Now, speaking of PlayStation Plus, if you are a PlayStation Plus subscriber, and all you need is the kind of like basic level, that's all I go for, and you've not yet picked it up, go and grab EA Sports F1 23, because they're giving it away at the moment, okay? So long as you keep your PlayStation Plus basic membership, you'll have access to the game forever. Which is great for me, being perfectly honest, because I've never bought EA Sports F1 23. I was on hiatus at the point, and I'll be honest, I very rarely pick up F1 titles at launch anyway. I normally wait for them to get a bit cheaper, and you don't get any cheaper than free. So it will be around for the entire month of March. So date I'm recording this and hopefully release it is the 15th. That gives you the rest of the month, another couple of weeks to go and pick it up. So yeah, F1 23 free on PlayStation Plus. Right, moving over to our next one, and one of my favourite arcade titles, Art of Rally, is coming to Android. Now, it is already available on those Apple devices, so if you've got an iPhone, you can already access this, but March the 26th, so a little over a week's time from the date of recording this, it will debut on Android, and I believe it will be the main game along with the Australian DLC will be available, so great news in terms of that. Go and check it out if you've not already played Art of Rally. Why? It's wonderful, but if you want it to basically play on the go and grab it for your Android phone. If you're like me, you're not an iPhone user. Now, this is an interesting one. Our next story, it's around EA Sports WRC, and we've got a couple of news stories on WRC, but this first one is that the dev team for WRC have put out a link to a survey asking for players' feedback around potential new features and content. And this is interesting because I think I and most people assumed that WRC was going to be a yearly release. But they're kind of hinting there in this survey about people's thoughts about how much would you pay for DLC, what would you look for in DLC, what kind of content, etc. Which sounds like they may be putting some feelers out and testing the market as to whether people would be more willing to pay for update content rather than an entire new game. Now, I certainly would go for that. Rather than having to buy an entire new game each year, actually having it updated on an ongoing basis would be much better in my view, because unfortunately what tends to happen with updates or brand new games is, yes, you get all the new stuff, but you can also lose some past stuff in there. Particularly in the past, we've lost rally locations and things like that. So being able to build on it would be great if that's the case. So that would be really nice to see. There has also been some info released alongside that about further fixes, VR, esports, etc. So they are still looking at all of those things. There's going to be more fixes. They are still working on VR, and they're going to give us an update as soon as they can. But do keep in mind that's only coming to PC. It won't be coming to PSVR 2, just PC. And the esports system and scheme is still in the works as well. Now, sticking with EA Sports WRC, update version 1.6.0 has hit, and there's quite a lot of stuff in here. I'm sure Andreas Mikkelsen is now extremely pleased that they've actually bothered to add him in as a WRC 2 AI driver, because he wasn't in there. They've also fixed a really annoying crash where if you were using ultra graphics setting and driving on the Monty, it could crash on you, and that happened to me in the middle of a clubs event, which is really bloody annoying. They've also tweaked frame rate issues on some of the locations and a whole host of other stuff as well, and added support for Turtle Beach's new Velocity 1 wheel and pedal system. So I'm not going to go through everything. You can follow the link down below and have a look at it, but there's a lot of good stuff there, and it is good to see that they are continuing to work on particularly the frame rate issues and the stutter and micro stutter issues that people have been suffering from. Most of them appear to be gone, but I am still hearing from a few people who are suffering a little bit with them. I will also link above to my review of EA Sport WRC 4 months on. If you're interested, go and check that out. We've also, speaking of titles recently released, got our first proper update for Le Mans Ultimate. Now, it's had a few hot fixes, 4 if my memory serves me, but this is the first full patch, or they describe it as a small update stroke patch. There's a lot of stuff been put in here. Most of it, in all honesty, is still around stability and quality of life when you're playing through it. So they've just made it more stable, more tidy, removed some of the annoying bugs, like you set your race duration, you set your weather, you then start the event weekend and it's changed them to whatever the hell it wants. So it's played around with that, it's improved some of the graphics settings, etc. And again, I'll link to my first look at Le Mans Ultimate up above, so click on that if you want to have a look at that. But this was a title that I must confess I didn't have great expectations for, given that it's a Motorsport Games release, but was actually very pleasantly surprised by it. It's a solid little title, and it's got some really good potential in there. And actually, I mean, it's far better than NASCAR Ignition ever was at launch. It is an early access title, and it is only on PC, in case anybody's wondering. Now, speaking of updates, we also have one for Forza Motorsport. That has hit update 6, where they have completely redone the car progression system and added a load more stuff in there and fixed a load of stuff. There's no new circuit on this update, but there are some cars and there's a lot of changes in there. I'm not going to go through everything that's been added because, again, it is huge. I will actually be able to check this out myself as well, because I have now bought Forza Motorsport. And the main reason I bought Forza Motorsport is principally because there is a huge Steam sale on at the present moment, and I'll talk about a bit more about that at the end. But update for Forza Motorsport. And then rounding our main updates off is we have news for the release of the upcoming Assetto Corsa Competizioni's Nordschleife. So we've known that this is coming and that they've been working on it. It is the 2024 season DLC pack that this is going to be included in, and we have a date for it now, which is the 1st of April. As far as I'm aware, and it's highly likely that this will purely be for PC, with the console release of it coming at some point later on, but we'll have to wait and see if that's the case. There's no confirmation of what else is coming within that, but it is described as being in the 2024 season pack, so there is a chance that we may get some new cars, we may get some new liveries and stuff like that in there. Again, check out the link and have a quick look if you want to see what's going on there. But that's good news, because it's going to be really interesting to see what the Nordschleife looks like in Assetto Corsa Competizione and how it drives, because I think it may also give us some heads up for what's going on within AC2. Maybe. We'll have to wait and see. One interesting thing that I will be looking at is there has been some work done on the Nordschleife over the winter. They always do. So it'll be interesting to see whether that's included in this version, in which case it will make it by far and away the most up-to-date version of the Nürburgring, the Nordschleife, around, which will be interesting. So just rounding off and talking about what you've been watching while I've been wittering on. So this is actually a title from 2018 called Gravel. Now, I bought this back on PS4 when it first came out, and it's a fun little arcade rally style title that I've really enjoyed. And I mentioned earlier on when I was talking about Forza Motorsport that I picked that up in the Steam sale. There is running, I think, to about the 21st of March, maybe a little bit beyond that. But there is an absolutely huge Steam sale on at the moment. It's their spring sale, and there's a lot of racing titles in there. So if there is stuff that you haven't picked up, and the list is huge, go and have a look at what's in there. I'll link to the Steam to the list down below that's on Race Department, because that's fairly comprehensive. But yeah, go and have a look at it, see what you can pick up. I picked up Gravel, as I say, double dipped, because I've got it on the PlayStation, but I wanted to see what it was like on the PC. I think it was £3.90 for the game and all of the DLC, which is a bargain, being perfectly honest, because it's a fun little game. Interesting point of fact, on my old YouTube channel, which is long gone, and as is all of the content, I reviewed this game when it originally came out on the PS4, and I said, and I still hold, that to me it played a little bit like a spiritual successor to Sega Rally. And somebody actually threatened to kill me and my family in the comments section over that, which is utterly bizarre, but there you go. Fun and interesting little fact. That's this news roundup for the fortnight. See you in another 2 weeks. Take care, everyone. If you've enjoyed this, hit the like button. If you want to see more content like this, please do subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to be notified when new content gets uploaded. Thanks very much. Take care. Bye.